Mr. Bears, were you the fire marshal of the city?
Yes, sir.
Were you connected with the fire department, and if so, for how long?
I was with the fire department for 12 years, up to November 15th when I retired.
During all that time, were you fire marshal?
Assistant fire marshal, and then fire marshal.
Did you visit the Triangle Waste Company building immediately after the fire?
Yes, sir.
Did you make an investigation?
I was there all during the evening of the fire, and I was there on the ground the next morning by 9 o'clock.
Tell us what you observed.
The result of my investigation and taking of testimony for 10 days after the fire was that I was of the opinion that the fire occurred on the 8th floor on the Green Street side, under the cutting table, which tables were enclosed, and that contained the waste material as cut from the lawn that was used to make up the waste. There were in habit of cutting about 160 to 180 layers of lawn on that one time. That formed a lot of waste, which was placed under the cutting tables, as it had a value of about 7 cents a pound.
Was it boxed or just placed on the floor?
Well, the boards were nailed on the legs of the table formed the box.
The outside of the box was wood?
Yes, it was all wood.
How did the fire start in that stuff?
Well, we formed the opinion that it started from a careless use of a match from one of the cutters. They were about to leave to go home, and in those factories, they are anxious to get the smoke just as quickly as they get through work.
A man simply lit a match?
Yes, and carelessly threw it under there. Then the attention of the workers were called to it, and they tried to extinguish it before it rang the fire alarm.
Did you examine the fire escapes of the building?
After the fire,
What did you find?
I found the fire escape on the rear of the building, which was only one, and was entirely inadequate for the number of people employed in the building.
Why were they inadequate?
Too small, too light. The iron shutters on the outside of the building were open, would have blocked the people passing between the stairways and the fire escape.
How many people were on that 8th floor?
Something over 250, as I recall it.
How many sewing machines?
There was a cutting department, and it was partly used for the machines for making fine waste. About 220 persons were on the 8th floor, all of whom escaped.
How did they come to escape?
They went down the stairway and down the fire escape, some of them.
How about the 9th floor?
The loss of life was greatest on the 9th floor. There were about 310 people there.
How many sewing machines?
288.
Now, will you tell the commission whether or not the place was overcrowded with the machines?
Yes, sir. All the space that could be used there was used.
Were any attempts made to extinguish the fire?
Yes, there were. They used fire pails there, and then tried to use the fire hose.
What happened to the fire hose?
Well, they claimed they could not get any water to it.
How about the fire pail? Why did that not put out the fire?
They did not get enough water to put it out. The fire spread very rapidly. The material was very flammable, and the fire traveled very fast. And all the conditions were there to build a fire.
How many fires would you say, Marshal, could have been prevented if ordinary care were used?
You mean in the factories?
Yes.
I am not prepared to say, Mr. Elkis. I am of the opinion that the care that are used to guard these factories by putting fire extinguishers care would have kept the fire down into a small size. All fires are the same size at the start, and I think the loss and the damage would be a great deal less by having available equipment.
Thank you.